Hello, welcome to another video tutorial with Kukure Capital. Now in this episode we're going to be discussing how to place an order. Now it may seem simple, but there's a few components that you need to be cautious of, and we have discussed this in our PowerPoint slides that are available on our website at kukurecapital.co.za. Now in this particular episode we're going to be discussing the components to placing an order. Now ideally the most important thing is that you make sure that you are trading the right currency pair. Now more often than not, a lot of people just assume that because their chart is open that it automatically is on that particular currency pair, and that's not always the case. Do double check and make sure you have nothing to lose by making sure that you are trading the currency pair that you wish to trade. Now the next thing is the volume. Now a lot of people are not really sure how volume works, because if you do read classical books about trading, they refer to lots. Now lots is an outdated manner in which folks and futures are traded. We no longer use lots, we now use volume, and volume is just the amount that you're trading per pip. Now if you're using JP Markets or most of these brokers, 0.01 is representative of 1 of 0.01 is representative of 10 cents. 0.01, if you do have a 0.01, is representative of 1 rand, and 1.0 is representative of 10 rand per pip. So if you do have then it doesn't matter what currency you're using, it's going to be the same. So it's going to be 0.01 is 10 cents, 0.1 is 1 rand is $1, and then 1.0 is $10. Okay, I just have to make sure because this is really important to get correct, and a lot of people get mixed up with all the decimals. 1.00 is equivalent not to 1 rand but to 10 rand, or if you're trading in dollars, $10. So obviously 4.0 is 40, and then 5.0 is 50, and then it depends on which trading platform that you're using, but most go up until 8. Now you have to be very cautious of how much you're trading how much you're putting in a trade, because you don't want to risk more than 2% of your account per trade. So ideally you need to just calculate that 2% is 0.02 times your capital, and that's how much you should be putting in a trade. Now if you have 100 rand in your account, you shouldn't be trading more than about 2 rand in a trade. So if you're trading more than that, you know that your risk is a bit too high and you're not trading the most responsible way. Now the next thing that you need to know is your stop loss and your take profit. Now a stop loss is just a measure that helps you if you had misinterpreted your chart. Now for example, if for some odd reason you can see this downtrend and you now try to hop on and you say, okay, I'm going to put a short position, now and then it turns and it goes the other direction, you now are obviously in the position to make a lot of losses. So the way to mediate these losses is to put a stop loss so that you automatically leave that trade so that you can minimize your losses. Now take profit is obviously the target that you're trying to achieve. So for example, if you were smart enough to use your support and resistance levels and see this is now a good opportunity for a long position, you could place a take profit here, and once it hits your target, it will close your trade on that profit that you intended to get. Now the next thing that you have is your market execution. Now market execution means that you buy immediately at that particular moment. Now a pending order means you put conditions in which the order will need, like you put conditions for the order to be able to take place. So for example, you say, okay, it's a buy position and you're only going to buy at a certain price, and then you're going to say, okay, after this time, after maybe an hour or so, it's going to expire. So if this doesn't occur in the next 10 minutes, it's fine, I don't want that specific order anymore. And once, let's say, it hits that price that you set it at, the order will automatically occur. So you have your market execution, which is immediate, and your pending order, which sets conditions for your order to take place. Now you have sell and buy. Now this is perhaps the most important. Unfortunately, even great people who understand all the indicators and whatnot do make mistakes and lose big time because they don't know the difference between placing a buy and placing a sell. Now a buy is really straightforward. It obviously means that you want the price to go up, and it's called a long position. Now that means you're buying normally in accordance of a bullish market, everything's going up, so you expect your price to go up. It's an example: if you buy something at 5 rand, you expect to sell it at 10 rand, which is straightforward. That's just an example. Now if you're using the SAL, it's a bit more complicated, and the great thing about SAL is you can still make money in a downtrend, which is something a lot of people aren't familiar with because they're not familiar with the SAL or the short position. Now a lot of books or notes or recommendations would say don't use a SAL if you're still a beginner, but in this market right now, if you're not taking short positions, you may be in some trouble, because now we're in a bullish market, but prior to this 2016-2015, we were in a very bearish market and the best positions were short. So what is a short position? Now a lot of people overcomplicated it because they're saying you're buying from the market, then you're selling it at a higher price, and then people get confused. So basically, if you are familiar with binary options, a sell position is just similar to placing a put. It is when you're expecting the market to go down. Now technically what you're doing is, yes, you are borrowing from the market and then selling it at a higher price. Now without thinking about it too much, I'm going to just give you an example that's really straightforward. So this example is also in our PowerPoints, but I feel like if I also explain it verbally, it will also just make more sense. So you have two people, Mary and Sam. They go to the shop. It's Sam's friend's birthday and he wants to buy her a laptop, and then Mary's there with Sam helping him pick out a laptop. So when they buy and purchase this laptop, it costs about 5,500 rand. So Sam is like, okay, well, it's only Mary's birthday in 2 weeks time. Well, not Mary, his other friend is also called Mary. Anyways, so he has two friends called Mary. And then the Mary that he went to the store with is like, oh, can I please borrow this laptop temporarily? Then Sam's like, sure, you can borrow the laptop until the next 2 weeks, until I have to give it to my friend. So she keeps the laptop. She's entrepreneurial, so she sells the laptop within a couple of days. She sells this laptop for 8,000 rand. So now the 2 weeks is about to approach, and she obviously knows that she has to give Sam back this laptop so he can give it to his friend. So what she does is now she goes and buys the same laptop for 5,500, and she's able to keep the difference that she made, the 8,000 minus 5,500, which is 2.5. So that's how much she gets as profit, and Sam still gets his laptop. So that's the same concept when you are doing a short position in the market. You are borrowing it, as Mary did. She borrowed Sam's laptop and then she sold it at a higher price and keeps the difference. That's exactly what a short position is. But the best way to explain it is just when you see that the market is in a downtrend, you're going to take a short position. It's like placing a put in binary options. That's the best way to explain it. So for example, in this instance, this is a strong downtrend from here to here. You would place a short position and you would make a lot of money. You'd make the difference. You would buy it and you'd make about, this is 2,894 points, but 289.4 pips. Yeah, this crosshair tool indicates to you the amount of pip movement, and that number is represented in the middle. That's why sometimes I will be saying 200 and something when you sing 2,000, because I've already converted into pips. But that's the point. And then once you've placed in all your details, I'm just gonna, and then you say a buy or a sell, and then your trade will be executed automatically. So in this case, I'm just gonna say this, and I haven't evaluated anything. But if you just say sell, then you press OK, and then you go to your trade, and you see it will show you how much profit is made. It will show you what type of transaction you've done, the size and the symbol. And if you want, and you say, okay, well, I don't want to lose any more money, you can right click and say close order. Okay, or you can also modify your order by right clicking on this order. You can right click, you say modify or delete. Close order, you can put a trading stop, which we will discuss later, and it just close order. You just simply press close, and now it's done. And if you want to look at your account history, you just go and then it'll show you that transaction that took place, the profit or loss, and your new account balance. So it's really straightforward, really basic. If you do have any questions or concerns, please do feel free to contact us at gakuracapital.co.za. Being able to place an order is very important. You just go, make sure that you know it's how to do it. Just go to new order. For some, it's there's already a screen that says buy or sell. So do make sure that you understand these concepts. Do feel free to contact us at kukurucapital.co.za. Thank you for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like our video.